Hello friends, it's me from my channel, and today we're going to be talking about something that I never thought I would ever talk about, and I certainly never thought I would live long enough to talk about, an actual book that should never be read by anybody. This is the real title of a book that I found on eBay a few months ago, so this is not some made-up story. It really is called The Unspeakable Book, a forbidden tome of black magic for men only. The author is listed as Astaroth, Lucifer, and Samael. First off, this book was not packaged in a box or anything like that. Then I placed it back in the envelope, and then I closed the envelope. I did not open the book again until I got outside. And even then, I just opened it very slightly to take a quick peek inside. And I quickly closed it again and put it back in the bag, where it remains to this day. As you can see, the book was clearly written recently, but it is written as though it has been transcribed from an older source. I only skimmed through it, looked at a few of the pages, here and there, and then went straight to the part where it told me how to perform the ritual to summon Lucifer himself. Let me tell you, this is one ritual that I do not want to attempt. Burn it, salt it, do whatever you need to do with it to keep it from causing harm. Whether the information contained in this book is true or not is entirely irrelevant. The mere fact that it exists is proof enough that we should stay away from certain things. Some things are best left unknown. Some doors are best left unopened. I didn't know where it came from or where it was going. I don't think I need to know any more than that. I hope I was able to convince you that this is a book that should never be read. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it gave you a little insight into the world of the occult and the truly dangerous things that exist in our world. Please subscribe and follow me on social media and all of those good places. And I will see you all next week for another exciting episode. If you have any experience with this book, or if you know anything about it, please let me know down below in the comments section. I am always interested in hearing from people who have experience with things like this. Whoever sold it probably doesn't even remember listing it, or perhaps they never even owned it in the first place. Things like this seem to find their way onto the internet from time to time, appearing and disappearing at random intervals. And this is one of those cases. I don't know what kind of entity Astaroth is, but based on what I saw in this book, I don't want to meet him either. I thought it was funny that such a book existed, but I soon realized that it is no laughing matter. I don't want to know any more about what's contained in this book. I don't want to risk unleashing whatever evil is contained within its pages. I am not sure if I need to say any more than that. Throughout the book, there are images of various demons and entities, some of whom I have heard of and others I haven't. There are instructions for summoning demons. There is a great deal of emphasis on performing rituals under moonlight, specifically the light of the full moon. I cannot describe the kinds of entities that are mentioned in here. Suffice it to say that they are far beyond our understanding. And the rituals described in here are beyond anything I have ever heard of before. This is truly forbidden knowledge. There are also mentions of using blood magic and sacrificing animals in certain rituals. It arrived in this Ziploc bag, and inside the bag was a plain brown envelope that was sealed with a strange wax seal. On the first page, there is a dedication that says, "This work is dedicated to Lucifer, Prince of the Morning and King of Hell." I have done things that most people wouldn't believe. I have delved deep into the occult and the demonic, and yet I am telling you that this book should not be messed with. It is dangerous. I felt genuinely threatened by the energy that seemed to be emanating from the pages of this book. I could feel the power contained within it, and I am someone who considers himself to be well-versed in these matters. I'm telling you that you do not want to mess with this book. The next page contains a preface addressed to the reader, and I will quote the relevant sections here directly. It reads, "You are about to enter a realm where the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest. What you are about to read should never reach the ears or eyes of the innocent, and weak-willed, for its power can corrupt and destroy. If you are of a nervous disposition or weak constitution, abandon this reading at once. This is not for women or cowards, and I couldn't have said it better myself." When I opened the envelope, inside was another smaller Ziploc bag containing the book itself, which was bound in black leather with strange symbols and sigils all over it. In the center of the front cover was a large pentagram with the letters A, L, V, and I. If you're able to read these letters, please let us know what you think they stand for down below in the comment section, which I assume are the authors' names, because I don't know if I need to say any more than that about this book to convince you that it is dangerous. But let's do it anyway, because this is one of those books that once you read it, there's no therapy in the world that could ever save you. However, I will point out some of the titles that jumped out at me, and you can see if any of them spark your interest. They include The Art of Commanding Elementals, Of the Nature of Demons and How to Invoke Them, Black Magic Rituals of Lucifer, A Pact with Satan, Conjuring the Demon Kings, The Use of Blood Magic. As you can probably already tell by these titles alone, this book does not hold back. Once you open this book up, your sanity will never be recovered. Okay, so for those of you who are interested, this is not a clickbait title. The cover features two pentagrams, one upside down inside the other, with the points of the inner pentagram matching up exactly with the points of the outer pentagram. And in between those pentagrams is a goat skull with red eyes. The whole thing is set against a background of blood red and black stripes. And when I say that the cover art on this book is disturbing, I am not referring only to the typical imagery that some people might find offensive or upsetting. Because while I am certainly aware of the fact that some people might find pentagrams, skulls, and things like that upsetting, that is not why I am saying that this cover is disturbing. Instead, it is genuinely unsettling and disturbing in the sense that it seems cursed. There is also a warning printed on the cover that says, "Beware, the contents of this book can be very dangerous. Do not use it unless you know how to control the forces of the universe." Now, I was not expecting that kind of warning on the outside of a book, and I can tell you that after reading this book, I now understand exactly why that warning was printed on the cover. But before we get into what's actually written in this book, let's take a look at the rest of the packaging. Now, since I do not want my house to be cursed, I immediately put the book back into the bag and returned it to the Ziploc bag. So let's take a look at the actual content of this book now. The next page contains a table of contents, but I am not going to read any of it out loud. Now, I won't read any of the actual content of this book out loud, but I will flip through some of the pages and show you what it looks like. Now, I want to make it clear that I have not read this entire book. Here's the thing. There are lots of grimoires and books of magic that I have read. I have even performed many of the rituals that are described in those books. There are things described in here that I have never seen anywhere else. I have seen some truly terrifying things in my time researching the occult. If you somehow manage to acquire this book, I would advise you to throw it in the fire, douse it with holy water. I do not know who wrote this book, but whoever did write it clearly knows what he or she is talking about. I bought this book as a joke. I had no intention of actually reading it. I bought this book online. I feel as though the longer I talk about this book, the more power I am giving it. So I will end the video here. I do know if I'll ever sell this book or what I'll ultimately do with it, but I do know that I will never read it again.